Hi, this is Coolio. Well, now that I'm done with Southern California and getting ready to enter into the Sierras, that is when the snow melts and it's good to go, which hopefully will be soon. I thought I would review what I took with me, what's working well, what needs some adjustments, things that I've purchased along the way, as well as things that I will be leaving home. Overall, this is my pack configuration right here, with everything including the things I've added like ice axes, the micro spikes, winter gear. This comes and about 4 to 5 days worth of food. Comes in at around 23 pounds. I've invested in a lot of really ultralight stuff, and added some, definitely put some additions, as well as planning on leaving some stuff home or replacing them. This is my sleeping system, which I've used on the PCT so far, and it's kept me extremely warm and performed really well on the PCT. It's a hammock gear, 20-degree quilt. It's extra long, extra wide, Thermarest Neolite sleeping pad, again, extra long, extra wide, combined with a Z-Packs reversible clothing bag / pillow, which I just reverse out to have this felt surface on the outside, but it's waterproof, keeps my clothes dry. I've also used this basic sleep setup for probably 100 nights in totality, and everything's performing extremely well. Can't be more satisfied. Sleep system all packed up, working great. This is my tent. It's a Z-Packs duplex, and it's kind of just laying here loosely right now. I've taken it out of its storage bag and actually just hung it up to air out before I restart on the trail back into Tehachapi and start hitting the Sierras. Really love the tent. It's a compact design, lightweight, and really fits me well with 2 vestibules. For me, it's a perfect one-person tent, and my wife and I both have spent plenty of nights in this as well too. So overall, I love the tent, but there's been some pretty big signs of wear after, less than 100 uses, about 75 nights so far on the trail, including the PCT. And this is one of the things, these seams right here, on this specific, starting on the PCT, started coming apart, which I think it's way too early, and literally air flows through it. You can see the tears there. I've ordered reinforcement pads that go behind that to repair it from Z-Packs, but that was kind of disappointing. And I did experience high winds. One of the things I did also buy for the trip was this freestanding kit, because I was concerned about actually getting stakes to hold the tent up. And I bought this, and this was another gear failure I had. Several of the graphite poles lost their connector between the graphite poles, just slipped inside, and I couldn't use it. It would, come out, and it was slapping me in the face. So after Warner Springs, I actually sent it home from Warner Springs. Z-Packs has sent me new ones. So here's a new kit that's completed out. I'll take this again with me on the Sierra and give it one more time. That the Flex kit, I really did like it, or the freestanding kit, I liked it because it created a little bit more room inside, more headroom inside the tent. I guess maybe one thing I could do is use my trekking poles to provide additional support, and we'll see how this goes. But this is kind of disappointing that, I had 2, a tent and then the freestanding kit kind of fail. It converts nicely over to the freestanding kit, but just really didn't anticipate to see this all these seams. This happened in the sidewall kind of support points where you stake it in. And then secondly, it happened in all the corners as well too. I'm seeing literally the black support things that are in there fraying where the DCF meets those support points. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know if this is going to make it the whole trip, which would be really unfortunate.
Well, it's getting close to sundown on the 25th, around 7 p.m. and snug in my tent. This feels really cold. Either that or I'm just cold. Anyways, got in about 20 miles today and asleep by hiker midnight for sure. Got my quilt on. This is a Z-Packs duplex tent.
And this is my tent all packed up, patched, etc. I'm actually carrying it now in a Z-Packs DCF bag. It's a little heavier than the original bag that came with my tent. There was no failure with the bag. I replaced it because, well, when I was at the Joshua Tree Inn, the winds were probably 30, 40 miles an hour continuously. And as I was putting out my tent, somehow the wind got a hold of the bag and it was gone. I could not find it. But you know, it's really compact. It's all the not the seams, but all the corners and support points for the guy lines are reinforced now. So hopefully this tent makes it all the way. Again, love the tent. It's really popular on the trail. I just think that mine took a real beating in the intense wind on the southern PCT and all the weather I went through. So we'll see how it goes, but love it. I'm not down on Z-Packs, but there are some durability issues. So I'm now carrying additional patches, if you will, for both the seams as well as, you know, potential wear areas that are starting up to get me through my entire hike. So I'm making some changes on my cook system here. I have this Toaks 750 ml titanium pot combined with the Snow Peak self-igniting stove, and I've been hiking with the 110 gram cartridge. This system is nice and compact, but it takes a long time for water to boil in this Toaks system, and I went through a lot of gas while hiking. So I've actually changed this up for a new cook pot, which is called a fire maple. I'm actually keeping the Toaks lid. Getting rid of that and going with fire maple, the fire maple system, which actually fits right into the burner. It's got a flux ring, so it cooks it. It boils water about twice as fast as the Toaks system goes. One of the critiques I heard about fire maple is this lid, which is plastic, can melt. So getting rid of that, and then using my Toaks lid, which fits on nice. It's got a nice handle from the side that won't burn you, which is another issue I had with the Toaks system. So this is kind of my Franken system. I'm really excited about it because it's gonna boil water faster. That means I need to carry less gas, and it's just slightly larger, but for the amount of cooking I do in that pot, as well as boiling water, it's gonna make a difference. This is my food bag setup, and it's a Z-Packs food bag, and I've got a kind of rock throwing kit and line actually inside here. I've got about 5 days worth of food here, and this will get me from Tehachapi to South Kennedy Meadows. That's what I'm reckoning it'll take. and really like it. It's performed well, keeps my stuff dry, very lightweight. You can roll the top down to compress it a little bit, and overall I highly recommend this. And I've not only used this on the southern section of the PCT, but I've also used it on the Ben Mackay Trail, Bartram Trail, and the section hike I've been doing of the AT, like the first 700 miles. So it's held up really well. Another thing that worked out really well on my hike was my water filtration, as well as my water carry system. And I'm using a Sawyer squeeze, large Sawyer squeeze. Bought a new one for the PCT. Also using the kind of larger aperture, if you see it here, it just provides greater water outflow. Have used the syringe just to clean out the filter and seem to improve the water flow a little bit. I do carry the net bag that comes with the Sawyer squeeze system when you buy it, but nothing else, just these elements. As far as water collection goes, I definitely do not use the Sawyer squeeze water collection system. I bought a 3-liter CNOC bag that fits the Sawyer squeeze for filtration, and it's got a clip on this end right here, which you can open and rapidly collect water, or if it's a low water volume coming through, it just makes it so much easier to collect it. It also augments as a supplemental water for supplemental water carries. There's been some long dry stretches which I've carried an extra 3 liters of water with me with this system. And the CNOC bag actually works kind of like a Sawyer squeeze in the fact that you can roll this up and increase water pressure to increase the amount of water flowing through the filter. So it's worked really well. And then I use a Smart Water 1-liter bottle to just carry with me. Usually carry 2 liters of water unless there's a big long dry stretch, which I use the CNOC system. So here's a 1-liter bottle in my side pocket. It fits in there nicely. And then I did add this water bottle kind of carry sleeve, if you will. And I've been carrying a 1-liter bottle here, and it makes it really easy to get to as you're hiking. My backpack is another Z-Packs item, and got to tell you, this is the most comfortable backpack I've ever used. It fits me perfectly. I would say, though, this is another bit of a gear disappointment, which I'm trying to address. And the word is, this backpack usually lasts about 1 through hike. Well, I've only used it 75 days since I bought it, but I'm getting this puckering stuff on the top right here. And then a lot of this DCF is like inside the pack is delaminating. There's threads hanging out everywhere. And Z-Packs is actually, I've ordered repair kits to put on the inside of here. I'm not really concerned about this being waterproof. I do have a pack cover for it, but that was kind of disappointing. And then also, when I was in Aqua Dolce, the arc system support thing right here, actually it broke, and I had to use some nylon strapping to tie it together to keep me going, which just worked out fine, but it's still a little unfortunate that would happen. And then my chest strap actually broke, and I had to just knot it on separately and use it. But again, this webbing broke. So Z-Packs is actually sending me a replacement suspension system, so I'll put that in. A new chest strap. I'm getting wear here, and then my belt's wearing. Again, you can get a replacement if you want. I'm just trying to squeak out, the rest of the PCT with this, and we'll see if it lasts. Again, I love the pack. Just disappointed with the durability. I would say all the bushes you have to push through, especially if you're at the front of the pack like we were. do take a toll on things like your backpack and your clothing. It just starts tearing things. So, okay, I actually received the repair tape from Z-Packs and actually did a lot of patching inside my pack. And it, as you can see here, it looks much better. It kind of actually blends in pretty nice. So we'll see if this does the trick and prevents this kind of like delamination or like fibers coming loose on the inside of the pack. Did get a new back panel strap sent to me by Z-Packs, and then a new chest strap. So all ready to go. And I'm not setting my tent up, but I've done the same thing. I had like these corner reinforcement pieces of Dyneema repair tape that I've put on, and so it looks like much improved. Well, in addition to repairing my backpack and really strengthening it, and adding a new side pocket and a water bottle sleeve, I have ordered and received some new upgrades and have some on the way. First, I'm carrying, I have these ice axe loops I've added, which is nice. It allows you to carry your ice axe on the outside of your pack, and so it doesn't take up my side pocket here. And then for my bear vault, which I'll be carrying through the Sierras, I ordered a V-strap that connects here and comes through and connects to this main point here. And so it allows you to carry it externally. You know, there's a pretty long food carry once you hit the Sierras. I mean, you can bail out at Kearsarge Pass, etc. But you got to carry a bear vault, and it's good to carry extra food. So I'm planning on carrying like 8 days worth of food with me. I'm also ordering, or have on order, just a couple of shoulder pads that Z-Pack sells, because I know I'm going to be carrying a lot of extra weight. I'm just going to put them on top of my shoulder straps. And I actually also ordered some repair webbing if any of the webbing breaks on my backpack. Those are all the modifications to it. It's really now in good working order, and I'm planning for this to last me through the entire hike. So the warm weather rain gear I brought on the trip is so far has really served me well. This is like a 850 fill mountain equipment puffy jacket from REI, working great, keeping me warm. I've actually worn it a couple nights when it was a little chilly. North Face rain jacket, love this thing. Pit zips, it's like not the lightest, but it's not bad. So definitely working well, and it's held up well to a lot of brush hitting against it. This is a smart wool, you know, like knit cap for really cold weather. I've been wearing it at night, obviously, to keep my head warm with my quilt at lower temperatures. I kind of typically wear these outdoor research lightweight gloves when it's a little chilly outside. I have these over mittens that are super lightweight that are waterproof in case there's a major rainstorm, and then kind of these like mid-weight spider gloves so I can layer these together when it's really cold. Got like a wool buff, and then a trucker hat. And then down here, things I bought along the trail were these Neosport waterproof or water resistant socks. My feet were really deteriorating with all the water exposure unexpectedly on the trail this year. I have these Marmot rain pants. I might switch this out in warmer weather for a lighter weight rain pant, or just not go with one. I did have the micro spikes along with me from the, well, I actually had them shipped to Warner Springs, anticipating snow on Mount San Jacinto. And then in Idlewild, I picked up this ice axe, and definitely used it a bunch so far on the trail, unexpectedly. All in all this stuff is performing well. You know, the ice axe, the micro spikes, the, you know, warm weather buff, the water socks, and maybe this will all go after I get through the Sierras. So it'll be a much smaller pack out when it comes to this stuff. And this stuff all packs down really nicely. I'll show you in a second. This is my clothing, and I'm gonna say everything was great here. I have two like REI sun hoodies. The one thing that's gone wrong with those is I got a few holes starting in them already, just pushing through the brush. There's a lot of brush you have to push through on the PCT. I picked up these, I think these are like merino wool long johns. The pair I had bought had shrunk a lot, so I need to pick those up along the way. Also some merino wool underwear. I've actually got two pairs of those I've been wearing. They do a good job of wicking moisture away and stopping chafing. Some Patagonia wind pants, and a couple of dry fit shirts. As far as the shorts, I've got like a pair of North Face trail runners, and then these, not sure what brand that is there, but they all seem to work really well. Not sure how well they'll all hold up if I keep getting having to push through bushes and things like that. It's kind of rough on your clothing, but so far so good. So these are the shoes I used, and they've held up really well. They're Ultra Lone Peak 7s, so you know, these have over 500 miles on them, and traditionally, like the older versions of Ultra shoes, I got a lot of separation on this toe, and they're much more reinforced than the older versions of these shoes. So I was really happy with the way he held up, and you know, overall they're in pretty darn good shape. The lugs on the bottom are starting to get kind of worn down, but you know, not in bad shape. I'm not going to take these with me though when I return to the trail, for one reason. I made a total rookie mistake. I'm normally a size 12 shoe, but you know, it's always recommended that you go up at least a half a size. And as a result of going with a size 12 Ultra Lone Peak shoes, I had a lot of blisters on both sides of my heel where I was rubbing. And so, yes, I'm replacing those with a new pair of Ultra Lone Peak 7s, which I have. They are now size 12.5, which should remedy the blisters I was getting on the outside of my heel. And I also use Darn Tough socks, as I mentioned earlier. These are great. It's a great combination because these shoes, I do not buy waterproof versions of these. I like the fact that when you combine these socks, which are merino wool and guaranteed for life, and these shoes, they dry out really quickly after a stream crossing. So all in all, I'm very happy with the shoes. The only adjustment I'm making is just sizing them up a little bit and getting them right. And finally, I have a Z-Pex ground sheet. Again, this is Dyneema, so I've used this for sitting at lunch. And I've used this on the ground to, or actually as a shade, and you know, going across the desert at lunch when there's a little shade. This provided a lot of relief. I've also used it obviously as the ground sheet to protect my Z-Pex tent. You know, so far there's very little wear on the bottom of my tent. It's just been around the support points. This doesn't weigh anything. I mean, it's like maybe 5 ounces. I use this large plastic bag also to carry really all my tent stakes. And I would say the tent stakes that are working, saw a lot of people with issues with their tent stakes coming up, are the kind of fluted design, not like the pegs you just push in, but the fluted design seems to hold on to the sand and gravel better. Well, these are my electronics, and I carry everything in a Hyperlight Mountain Gear fanny pack, which I just stuff into my backpack, but it is waterproof or resistant. I have an Anchor 20 milliwatt amp battery pack, and then an Anchor charging cube, which has like 2 USB-C and 1 USB port, and this supposedly increases the speed of recharging devices, and it seems like it's doing the job. I have an InReach Mini, which I've used a few times when I didn't have cell phone coverage to reach out to my wife and send a message. But I mean, for the most part, it's I've been able to text message, etc., and I get tracked. Got a couple people tracking my hike on this, so you know that's a good thing. I did add a few things. I had a Petzl headlamp. I just didn't like the illumination with it, the size and the feel. And in Idlewild, when I bought my snow axe and a bunch of other things, I bought one of these Nightcore headlamps, and I absolutely love this thing. It's rechargeable, it's lightweight, it fits great, it adjusts well. Definitely a good addition. And I did have ordered one of these flex tail pumps for blowing up my air mattress. It weighs like 1.2 ounces, it says here, and it works really good. It blows up fast. Problem is, I ordered it like 15 days before it started my hike, said it would be there in 4 to 5 business days, and it didn't make it till after I left. Since I've come back, I've tested it a few times, and man, it does blow up your air mattress quick, and that really sucks after a hard day of hiking to have to blow up an air mattress. So I think this is a worthy addition to the pack. And then all my cables, you know, I've got a bunch of cables in here for charging the various devices. It works pretty good. And I'm filming on an iPhone 11 something. Anyway, it seems to be doing the trick okay. And I do have a much higher quality digital camera, but I just didn't feel like carrying the weight with me to video on the trail. We'll get by with this. And you know, the final thing to review is I use Lucky trekking poles, and really love this this pole. These are graphite, and they're called the Halulite poles. They use this for, obviously, as a trekking pole, but also to haul up my Z-Packs tent. I like the cork handle, and it's got these adjustable adjustable tightening points that I use. So all in all, love these poles. I do carry some duct tape. You never know when you're going to need duct tape, so I do carry this with me on the trail. And believe it or not, on the PCT, I actually used it for a couple of repairs temporarily. But all in all, this is definitely a winner.